devastating, and we're talking about it on today's episode of Secret Identity. I'm your host, Troy, and the Cobb We're All Corn Bond, co-host and co-creator. Almost a year ago, we started launching episodes, Mr. Brent Birnbaum.
Salutations.
And she is freshly out of Arkham Asylum and looking for a new foe, Miss Slater Harrison.
I was just going to say I broke out of there. So
Gigante.
Thank you. Yeah.
How would you break out of
Don't
Arkham?
send me back
I am a gigante.
I am a gigante. How would you break out of Arkham?
Probably with a spoon, Shawshank it, get out of there slowly but surely, hide a poster.
Didn't he use a rock hammer?
Well, you know what, Brent?
You know his tactic.
Spoon,
If Brent asks the
rock
question, it's a
hammer.
statement.
I thought it was a spoon. I don't know. Maybe not.
He used his
That's
dick.
worth a Google.
Looking at the poster.
Yeah. Every time he
Robbins,
jerked
baby.
off, he was closer to freedom. That's all he had to
Did
think
that
about.
helicopter, baby.
Lady Liberty.
That was a flop when it came out, Shawshank.
Was it really?
Yeah.
It flopped, and then
Yeah.
it wasn't until movies were on cable that started to really pick up. And
Yeah, Morgan Freeman was like, thank God.
I'll tell you, Mr.
That
White.
was a great year for movies. That
What did we
was
get?
Pulp Fiction, Forrest Gump, Quiz Show.
What?
Was that
Wait,
not a
what's
real
Quiz
movie?
Show?
Quiz
Yeah.
Show's a great movie.
I was like, that's just a sound.
That's
no,
fake.
No, it's not. It's a Robert Redford directed movie. It's about they rigged a quiz show in the 1950s. It's an all-time
Quiz show.
show. What did you think I was saying?
Quiz show.
Quiz show. I was
quiz
like, what is this
show.
anime shit?
Quiz show.
You're dropping right now.
Quiz show's no good out
Quiz
here. I
show.
need something more real. I need A credits, B credits, or C two slaves.
on Quiz Show.
I saw your mother. She's not mine. I sold her to Wayne.
I invested in Krispy Kreme and Quiz Show.
And Quiznos, that one not so good. I should have put my money back into Subway, but look at Jared. Oh my God, he was selling 3-inch subs. Who knew? I did not know any. Little Annie.
Little mayonnaise.
See, I thought I was taking it too far. You paint the picture, Outlander. Penguin. I want to hear your fresh off the pot thoughts. I just watched the last episode. We have so much to talk about. We have a lot of
You're not even
opinions.
kidding. You guys literally
just watched the
it
last
10 minutes
episode.
ago.
It still burns.
Brent walked in and he was like, I can't watch. Spoilers, by the way. Brent came in and he was like, I can't watch this scene again. And it was when Victor was getting choked out. And I had a hard time just sitting there watching it. And it was one of those characters you knew were going to die, but you didn't want to believe it. And then as it's happened, once he just starts complimenting him, once somebody ever says, if they're an organized crime and they call you buddy, the more they call you buddy, they're not your buddy. And the more they start giving you accolades, run. As soon as they go, how much you mean to me.
I knew as soon as that scene started, I knew he was dead.
I knew from the first episode.
Yeah, you
that
called it.
you
She
had to
called
kill
it
him
right
at
away.
some
I
point.
thought he was going to die. You called that he was going to kill. I thought
Yeah.
Sophia was going to kill him.
No, I was like,
She
he's
had
gonna
it from the
kill him.
beginning, yeah.
Faux show.
Good call.
And he made him fucking drink. That was the other sign. Because when he first tried
Yeah.
to kill him, he was like, have a sip of this. You drink?
Right.
Yeah, smoke the cigar.
I thought
Something.
it was great that Oz killed him because they kept the villain a villain. And if
He's a
Sophia
villain,
killed him, it would have
exactly.
been a weird turning point thing, and it would have almost been like parallel of Batman.
It's like,
He's a
like,
villain.
like what we just said. It's like Tony killing Christopher.
Yeah.
And which the Tony Christopher killing was sort of justified. I always felt like when Tony justified it to himself by being like, there was a tree branch in a car seat, and he was trying to act like he was saving the kid, but really Christopher was a liability.
He was a liability.
At this
That's
point.
exactly. This guy gave everything to
And
Tony.
him still holding on to his mom.
Yeah.
Oz holding on to his mom shows that killing Victor was a pussy ass move because you didn't let go of your family.
And what his mom
Yeah.
said is, if I ever end up as a vegetable, let me go.
Yeah, that was torture
Yeah.
in that last scene.
He's still there mentally. That's
Yeah.
the thing when you have a stroke, your mind is still there.
That's the worst,
Yeah.
He's
man.
trapped
Just
in the
kill,
body.
kill me,
Yeah.
dude. Kill me.
Yeah, no,
ever
that
happens.
the
You're like, yeah, I think Slater's having a stroke right
fourth
now.
time she said it.
Yes. If you insist. Hello, Slater.
Why have millions when you can have super villains? Let me see your toes.
You're dying.
My favorite thing about this show is I think now we can finally, as American people and fans across the world, accept the fact that Batman has more than 4 villains.
Yes. And what's interesting is the Penguin is probably one of the top 5 most famous Batman villains, maybe the second most famous.
What else other than the DeVito movie? Because I thought of the Arkham games. He was
Yeah.
always my favorite in the Arkham
Well, Burgess
games.
Meredith also had a very iconic
Oh,
performance
right.
on the Adam West
That reminds
show.
me of
Yeah.
the Seinfeld bit where he's like, it must be easy to catch criminals in Gotham. We think it was the Penguin. Why? Because he was dressed like a penguin.
And he can't run away. He definitely waddles. So
Yeah.
it's a
Got that gout.
very accurate.
But and this was a new take with the club foot, which I love.
Yes, yeah.
Oh,
What
yeah,
was
I
it
liked
before?
it, but not seeing it.
It's always different. It's either he's like an upper crust guy who's kind of shorter. I mean, in the Adam West show, he was just a guy with a monocle and the FDR cigar.
And he was kind of like a rich tycoon by that point.
Yeah, and then in the Bird movies, he's actually like he's really disfigured. He
Gross.
like looks like a penguin.
Yeah, like a miscarried dolphin.
Yes. yeah. Oh my god.
DeVito.
Inbred shit.
Yeah,
Like,
Danny DeVito played.
Oh
him.
yeah.
You ever
that's
see
right.
the South Park episode when like Mr. Garrison has the sex change and then and Kyle's dad decides to become a dolphin?
Yes.
He looks like that.
It's literally
Oh my God.
like a mix of animal and human. Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, that's fucking great. But the showing of the foot was pretty nice.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was gross.
Even
Yeah.
Tarantino was like,
Yeah.
fuck that, fuck that.
Ew,
Ew, I don't like that.
Oh.
You know, I actually kind of like that.
Give me 8 by 10s.
Okay.
Uma, are you
That's
okay?
Like a deep cut for Tarantino. Are we gonna go from the Are we gonna make this episodic and go from the beginning to the end?
I think we just discuss it.
Oh,
like,
okay.
I mean, if you want to, but it's just a
No,
lot
because
to
I
cover.
just had a couple other things to say,
Yeah,
and I
go
was like,
for
"Well,
it.
I'll wait till we get there." I'm so used to us getting off track that I'm like, "Hang on, did we fuck up already?"
I think with comic books, it's more like you want to have like it's like they're reading along.
Yeah.
But with this, it's just like everyone
Yeah.
watch this. I think.
Everything about this was stellar. The writing,
Yeah.
the acting, the production.
was
This is
outstanding.
Matt Reeves' crime saga, the Batman universe.
It was the best show of the year.
Yeah.
And it was
Best
a
show
comic
since
book
Daredevil. Best comic show since Daredevil. I'd
Easily
say.
best comic show
Wow.
since Daredevil. I agree. Watchmen was 2019.
Okay, so to compare it to Watchmen, I was like, they don't really need to do a season 2 because this worked as a limited series. And Colin Farrell said he has 5 or 6 scenes in the Batman 2, and but that doesn't come out until October 2nd, 2026. And he was like, I'm open to doing a season 2 of the show if there's good enough writing. I don't know that they need to. You can now he's almost cemented himself where he's obviously going to be in every Pattinson Batman movie. That's good enough for me. Now
agree.
we've got Sophia in the mix. We've got give me. I don't know how many times I have to say it, but give me Mr. Freeze, Mr. Freeze, Mr. Freeze, Mr. Freeze.
I think you're gonna get what you want.
I hope so. Or Clayface, like you pointed out. What was your Clayface theory? That was great.
So Eve's last name is Carlo.
Even
like,
the last scene.
Yeah, so Eve, the prostitute, like who's
yeah.
like his like paramour, like, and she's always wearing masks and disguise. Well, not masks, but like wigs and different makeup. Is always into disguise, and her last name is Carlo, which is the same last name as Clayface, Baslo Carlo.
So you think there could be some like what they did in the Batman animated show that came out this year, some gender bending Clayface, or could Clayface be a dude shape shifting into that, and Oz knows that, and he's
I
paying
kinda
for
like
their
that.
services because
That would be
he's
wild.
creepy at the end, man. He's
Yeah.
fully consumed by the darkness, and I think that would just add to the sliminess of him.
I
Because we haven't
know.
seen him slimy, we've seen him be cunning and ruthless to get to the top, but the Penguin's a gross guy.
Yeah, no, he's nasty. He'll do whatever it takes. He'll fucking make the prostitute his mom.
Yeah, that was well. Let's not judge him for that. I mean,
That was yeah.
That's also
Yeah.
like only top 5 weirdest things or terrible things he's done.
Yeah, no, that's not the worst. But like the last people that are living, and he's not going to kill off. He's going to fucking make him someone else. I think it's a different problem.
At least he didn't make her Victor.
Yeah, that's true. Could you imagine? She just has the like puffy jacket on.
Stuttering.
hell, you're a good kid.
She's like,
Tell me how good of a guy I am. Tell me how happy I am that you took me along. All right. Tell me how much you could breathe despite how much pressure is being put on your neck.
Gotham belongs to you.
Tell me I'm gonna let you finish. Tell me Gotham belongs to me.
You started too much. You wouldn't do that.
No one can stop
My
you
damn,
now.
my damn, my damn. You do not know me, but I know you very well. And let me tell you that I'm Victor. You know the song Stutter?
Yes, yeah. That was
Why
a good
did I
jam.
watch yourself? I smell cologne. Damn, it's strong. How'd you get it on? I'm choking.
That actor, this isn't his first comic book thing either.
What was his other thing?
He did The Runaways, which I never saw, but it's a cool comic.
That was the one
Victor?
about
Victor, yeah.
That kid?
Heidi Klum, right?
Was it?
When she at night she turns into a woman who marries
Make
Seal.
it work.
What was Runaways?
Runaways is a comic. It was
Bon
like-
Jovi one.
it-
Ooh. Sorry.
Oh, I thought you were doing
She's
the
a little runaway.
Baby, I
Raise
love
a
you
glass for the
away.
douchebags.
Run away.
Raise a glass for the ass. I can sing it.
There. Wow.
Killing from the pig.
Killing Victor. Take my hand and I'll choke you, I swear. Callie, sit your ass down. That's Brent's Victor. Callie,
Callie.
Down.
This isn't for you. Break. What? first impressions of the show, and what do you think its legacy will be? I'll ask Brent, I'll ask later. First
impressions, I thought it was fantastic. I mean, the three of us have talked all the time how much we love The Sopranos. It was an awesome homage to The Sopranos. And also, because it was so Long Halloween inspired, which is my favorite Batman book, and we said Long Halloween is so mob Godfather-esque.
Yeah.
It lended itself so well to the show.
That's sort of the beauty of that being the backbone of the Reeves verse. You know, like the way Nolan was grounded in no powers, no mystical stuff like
terrorism, things like that. Yeah.
This
Casual.
yeah, that was what Batman Begins was about. Yes, we saved Gotham with terrorism. Post 9/11 movies
Drop a
were
bomb
weird.
on it. That's every fucking solution.
And they this universe could have that straight edgeness to it, but you can drop like a Clayface character, a Hush character, a Freeze character, someone. We don't need to see ones that have been done before, though. I do think we need a redemption of Mr. Freeze, and we need a redemption of Poison Ivy, and I think two of them could fit perfectly into this universe.
Of course, it is my time to shine.
You have to smoke your stogie outside. Look at me, I smoke it with Maria.
I'm going to take you down with the Gesundheit gun.
Sophia, it is a cold gun, Sophia Gigante.
Sophia, if you were my maid, I would definitely make love with you. But don't tell Maria.
Don't tell Maria, Sophia. She reminds me of a Gigante.
Dude, she's a freaking baller.
Of course.
She's definitely going to come back in something, right?
Yeah,
Sophia, we fly high. No lie. You know it's balling.
What do you think, the second part of that, what do you think this impact on comic book shows? And because like the only other show I could think of that was as good that I watched week to week was Peacemaker. I don't know if you watch all of Peacemaker.
Dude,
Peacemaker was great.
And it's coming back, baby.
And it's coming back, and I heard it's going to lead directly. Did you watch Peacemaker? That was the John Cena one?
You would love Peacemaker.
You would love
I
it.
didn't,
That's
really?
like his lines are so you.
Vigilante is my favorite.
I love peace, and I'll kill as many men, women, and children as I have to
Oh,
obtain
that
it.
is me.
Vigilante was so good, and that was a
Vigilante's the best.
recast too.
Yeah, and it was just such a great
So
recast.
much, yeah, so good. I think Watchmen, Peacemaker, and this are also good because they can exist in a universe but have nothing to do with anything else. What would your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think I absolutely agree, and I think with TV you can go a little darker, which is cool. That's why the Daredevil show was so good.
Why can't you go darker for TV than for movies?
I just think because you don't have that pressure of trying to get
Sell
that
it.
box trying to sell it. That's why all these movies are PG-13.
Yeah, and you have more time.
You have more time.
Like you
yeah.
can get them to like people and then get dark on like episode 4 rather than a movie.
Yeah.
You're like,
I think that's
already
why
4
TV is like
hours.
the new movies.
Yeah.
Movies
yeah,
take
sorry.
longer and they're
not at
shorter
all.
products. I'd rather like sit with 9-hour-long episodes of something.
Which is crazy because I think about all these actors that like go into these shows that are like mad seasons, and I'm like, dude, that's like fucking years and
But
years
that's
of your
work.
life.
Movies, you're not always going to get that.
It would be such, yeah, exactly. And that's why I feel like some series are better than any movie, even if they're of the same story, just because they're so engrossed, I feel like.
And
as
it's a
an
way where you
actor.
can get a breakout role, like you
Yeah.
said, because you're getting so much more time. Like Kristen Milioti is going to get booked
so much more. And
Oh
she's
my
been
God, yeah.
working, but always under the radar.
Yeah.
That Black
Yeah.
Mirror episode I love she did.
So good on 30 Rock.
30 Rock, she was
sexy baby.
Oh my
What
God.
an opposite role.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
She's so
She's the mother.
locked in.
She's
and
very
yeah,
versatile.
yeah. And I think we're getting that Selena Kyle, Sophia Gigante team up show. That's the best way they could.
She's a killer
Yeah.
voice, too. She was a Broadway actress.
Was she really?
Yeah, you ever see the show once?
No.
Twice.
I was going to say.
3 times
A lady. You're Annette Bening.
Nice.
Not betting?
You're Annette Bening. That was the song they sang in that scene,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. And I love you.
She's on Broadway. What was she on Broadway?
And it was the show once. It's a beautiful song. Falling Slowly. She crushes.
It goes,
She's
And then it's over because they
It's
really
over.
fall and die. It's once, and that's all the time you have
Twice.
to see it. Yeah.
To your point about movies and TV, it feels like every few years we go through the cycle of they make too many movies in a franchise, and then the franchise as a whole suffers. So then they go, let's peel it back and make TV shows and put those out once a year. And then they make too many of those, and they go, oh, people miss movies. Let's put those out again. This is like the perfect way to do, like the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, for example. That was a 7-episode miniseries that people were pissed wasn't 3 movies. And I was like, I heard what the movies were going to be, but I was like, no, I really would have liked 5 seasons of this.
Yeah.
Instead of a trilogy where
felt like
two-thirds.
Leia. I don't know. You know more about Star Wars than me. It felt kind of like Leia was shoehorned in there too. Like,
Well, I thought it was a nice surprise because I was like, well, what's the show going to be like? there was a great comic arc where Darth Maul tracks down Luke to Uncle Owen's Lars homestead, and Old Man Obi-Wan fights him, and Uncle Owen blows his head off, and like that would have been cool to see something like that. But like I was like, what are they gonna do? Just have him be in the desert for 7 episodes? That's gonna suck. My version of calling of that Victor was gonna be killed was I was gonna go, it's gonna end with him walking up to Luke and going, hello there, and it did. The Leia thing was a shoehorn, but a lovely surprise because it adds to the why Ben sacrificed himself in A New Hope. And we'll get back to Penguin in a second. But what was Ben's mission? To bring Luke and Leia together. And when he sees them together in the Death Star for the first time when he's fighting Darth Vader, that's why he told Vader, if you strike me down, I'll become more powerful than you can imagine. He wasn't talking about the Force Ghost. He was talking about how that loss was going to bring them together and eventually be the destruction of the rebellion. And she named her son Ben after Ben Kenobi.
Well, that actually makes a lot more sense why she would name her son Ben. Because I always thought it was weird, though, that she would call Ben and say, General Kenobi, you fought with my dad in the Clone Wars. Like, I figured he would just be like, of course. You and I spent a long time together.
He also said, I don't ever remember owning a droid. Very interesting. As if in Revenge of the Sith, the first 20 minutes, he isn't going, R2, 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 R2. We watched her mother die. We watched her be born.
That's me
R2.
picking holes in canon.
No, that's
I'm watching Gendy Tartakovsky's show again on Disney+. Oh, my God. That's so fucking good.
What part are you on?
I'm literally just started again. It was the
micro series?
Yeah, the micro series.
When that show came out, I've told you this. My family didn't let me have shit. But I got 2 minutes every week to watch that fucking Clone Wars show. They didn't let me have a goddamn thing. But they gave me the respect every week on Wednesdays. You'd hear that.
Fucking burped up.
I know. I almost spit out my beer.
You know that theme song where it's just and then at the 2 minutes were up and my mom would start putting cigarettes out on me. But for 2 minutes I got it. And then it's so good. It's so good. But this. When I was a kid, we had the Batman show. Remember the Batman show?
That was the one that came after Justice League. It was like the Joker had like the dreadlocks.
Yes. Yeah. That was the first time I remember seeing because like animated series Penguin, we always go to like for, being the gold standard, being like, all right, yeah, this is the character. I always liked that Penguin. He liked the Batman show Penguin. I don't know if you remember. He was kind of.
I didn't watch that show.
It was very good. I watched it recently. Hated it when it came out. Watched it recently. It's very good. I'll give you a few good starter episodes on it. But like that always interested me in the Penguin because of the Joker is always lying, and you as the audience member know. But this show sort of highlighted the fact that you're rooting for Oz until he reminds you why he's a bad guy. Something Sopranos and many mob shows fail to do because it's very easy to glamorize that life. Every episode you kind of are reminded, oh, he's a villain. And your only exposure to his character was the Batman movie previously, which he stole the movie.
He did.
Pharaoh.
He was great.
We're Spanish.
And there was great casting in there. I mean, Turturro, Dano, Pattinson, Serkis.
Fantastic. Going into this show, not knowing much about the Penguin, what did you first think about it, and what do you see this having an impact on the Batman going forward? Because you've consumed a lot of Batman now.
I mean, I like that he's the villain playing the victim, and I feel like obviously Colin Farrell fucking crushed it. I saw him in the beginning because his eyes, but like as it went, I lost.
No, he was gone.
I was like, who the fuck am I watching right now? Like it's the Penguin. Like there's no other person in there, which was wild to see. And I didn't ever know what his background is, and from what I've learned so far, it kind of changes infrequently, like what he really is. So it was interesting that he's like kind of playing like that he's of the people, but he's literally just of himself. Like there's no one.
Great moment with Sophia. I noticed only people who see through him are women in this show and women of power. And Sophia said, that's what you got to tell yourself, right? And he goes, yeah, it is.
Yeah, and he fucks over everyone, including his own mom, when she has the tear at the end. I don't know if he's like saying like, see, it's everything you want, like being a dick, or if he truly thinks that she's happy tearing because he finally made it.
I think he's torturing her.
Okay, because I was like, it could go either way. I don't know how sick he is, and then he fucking goes to
him at the end when she stabbed him and said like, you're the devil. You got to understand, she made her deal with the devil. She could have killed him. She could have gotten that dude.
She almost did.
And then it was because when they were dancing, and he's like, I'm going to get you everything you ever wanted.
Yeah, and
he
like
kind of does.
He does, but it's too little, too late, and it's not even like.
Does he though? Because I don't think he would have ever gotten her in that situation where even anyone would have gotten that remotely close to her. That's where his eyes were getting too big for his stomach, and he wasn't realizing that other people weren't. The world didn't belong to him. Life is something that other people are part of, and she got taken as a consequence of his ignorance. What fucking situation, in what world are you helpless to help your mom when she's about to get her pinky cut off? You know, like, did he get her everything she wanted? No, and he knows that, but now she can't do shit about it. It's like when he was standing over Maroney and he goes, I got you at the end. That's his thing. I got you.
Because his ego is so out of whack, and that's the other thing about him that makes him so evil. What differentiates the Penguin from every other Batman villain except for Bane, he's not insane.
Yeah.
When the Penguin goes to gets caught by Batman, he never goes to Arkham. He goes to Blackgate.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That
sounds like a little kid series. When the Penguin goes to prison. Just got lost there.
And
like,
the Penguin.
He's waddling for what?
The
Happy
Penguin,
Feet
the
is
penguin
now
marching
sad.
around the prison.
The Penguin is marching around the prison, and he's waddling for a different reason. It has nothing to do with his club foot, but the club that went up his
All the
crime
ice has
alley a
melted.
couple of nights before, Mr. Wayne.
But the fact that he's sane in making these decisions in a way like that doesn't excuse what Joker or Riddler or Two-Face or Scarecrow.
No,
or
but
Manhattan,
that
but
factors into why they do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He knows what he knows right from wrong, and he's choosing wrong.
Yeah, which is even worse, you could argue.
Yeah.
And I feel like he does, I guess, physically or like materialistically provide his mom everything that he said he would, because he says that as a kid. He's like, I'm going to get that penthouse. I'm going to do this. He got the penthouse, and now she's just a vegetable in it. Like, that's probably not how she foresaw what he was going to give her. And it was just like, I don't know. I also think it's weird. It kind of reminded me of Squid Games, a weird relation of the end with the old guy that's in the hospital bed, like in the big penthouse city viewing, and then he's kind of like, oh, like it's everything that you wanted, and this guy's like, no.
It's interesting. I thought about Squid Games too, and
Really?
I thought about that scene. But it was him with Maroney when Maroney had died.
Was over standing over him.
Yeah, exactly. He's standing over him. He's like, "Are you kidding me?" He goes, "I beat you," and you don't even get to see it. Like in Squid Games, he beats the guy, and the guy doesn't even get to see that he beat him.
It's a big question in humanity in general, and people's morals, and like how far they'll go to for themselves or for their family, you know. And it's just Penguin's just fucked on all counts.
Because my parents loved the show, and I talked to my mom is the worst trait I got from her is I'm a false sleeper during watching things. So if she stays up throughout the entirety of a show, it's a good show. And when I saw her last week, she was like, it was the episode where it just showed him locking his brothers into the vault. And I said he didn't mean to kill them. He just, little kid brain, just didn't realize that they were going to be drowned. But she went, no, he wanted his mommy all to himself. And that's why she did. And I was like, all right, Mom, you're corny. And then when she said it in the show, I was like, in that last episode, I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
He didn't initially mean to kill them, but then when he saw what was happening,
He didn't say anything.
That's when he killed them.
Exactly.
That's when he's like, you know what, I'm okay with this.
Yeah. The one episode we got to talk about, which I think it might be one of the best ones in the whole show, is the Sophia backstory episode. That is
I just got the chills.
That was hard to watch.
And it's such a deconstruction of existing tropes.
Tell me.
Well, because in the comics, like, they've basically taken the the Falcone family and the Maroney families and turned it on its ass. Like, they still have callbacks, like the Sophia and Maroney's alliance in the comic books led to the greatest tragedy of Batman's career. Because in Long Halloween, Maroney is going to testify against Falcone.
Right, and then
Sophia's his lover. She gets him to turn. The nerdy 60-year-old guy gives him the vial acid. Milton, whatever that guy's name was, and he throws the acid in Harvey Dent's face.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's a complete deconstruction because Sophia is the Hangman in the comics. In Dark Victory, the sequel to Long Halloween, she's going after everyone that helped Harvey Dent's rise to power because he killed her dad, and she's killing them as the Hangman, and she actually kills Alberto for being too weak, who